Welcome to What to Pair. Today we are covering Alfredo sauce and wine pairing. So Alfredo sauce is extremely rich and creamy. It's made from butter and you have Parmesan cheese in there as well, sometimes cream. And it's usually tossed with pasta and you might throw in some bacon, some mushrooms, some chicken, or just some steamed vegetables even. And below you can see my top 5 pairings. And in the next few slides, I will explain why these pairings are my top 5 and some points on each of the pairings. So first up, we have Orvieto and Alfredo sauce pairing. I give this 4.5 out of 5 stars. So Orvieto, it's a crisp, dry white wine from Italy. Some say it tastes like the sun of Italy in a bottle. So it's got notes of lemon, lime, apricot, and almond. The fruity citrus notes, well, they cut through the rich Alfredo sauce. And this is something you want just to keep your mouth refreshed. And the almond notes that you get in Orvieto, well, it complements the nutty pasta Parmesan cheese flavors. So it's just a nice marriage of food and wine where you get the contrast and complementary notes, which is something we always try to look for with our wine pairings. So I do give this 4.5 out of 5 stars, but in reality, it might be more of a 4 because it's difficult sometimes to find the perfect Orvieto. It's not the most popular white wine out there. And, you might have to do some searching to find the right Orvieto for your Alfredo sauce pairing. My next pairing is Chardonnay and Alfredo sauce pairing, and I give this 4.5 out of 5 stars. What you want here is a full-bodied Chardonnay to match the rich texture of your Alfredo sauce. And full-body Chardonnay, they're known for being oaked, which will give it a buttery and tropical and vanilla flavors, which just make it a great pairing with Alfredo sauce. Because those buttery flavors, they complement, again, the rich textures of Alfredo and the pasta. And then those tropical flavors, well, they just cut through the creaminess, keeping your mouth refreshed, just, kickstarting your taste buds in between sips so every bite tastes as fresh as the next. Pairing number 3, I give 3.5 out of 5 stars. Now, a 3.5 out of 5 is a good pairing. This is something it's nothing to sneeze at. This is a good pairing, in my opinion. It might not make people go, oh, wow, but they're not going to complain and they'll be happy as well. So Pinot Grigio is a white wine. It's also referred to as Pinot Gris. Pinot Grigio is typically, the most popular examples tend to come from Italy, although there's other regions that make phenomenal Pinot Grigio. What you're going to get is a crisp white wine that's acidic and has subtle pear and apple notes. It's this dry, crisp flavor that makes Pinot Grigio refreshing. I always call it like the Coors Light of wine. It's just, just a neutral, but, somewhat fruity, cold and refreshing wine that's just perfect with Alfredo because, again, it cuts through the rich flavors and it just keeps your taste buds refreshed. So each bite tastes as fresh as the next. Moving on to red wine, I give Pinot Noir and Alfredo sauce pairing 3.5 out of 5 stars. For myself personally, I prefer white wine with Alfredo sauce, but I know some people don't enjoy white wine. And if you don't and you want a red wine, Pinot Noir is probably the way to go. Again, it's high in acidity and you kind of want that again to cut through the creaminess. It's not usually high in alcohol. You don't want high alcohol wines with Alfredo sauce because the cream might curdle in your mouth and that's just unpleasant. You don't want that. Pinot Noir is also fruity and refreshing. So again, it's going to refresh your mouth in between bites. And it's also an earthy wine. It has notes of forest floor and barnyard. So if you put any mushrooms or bacon in your Alfredo sauce, this will make for an extra good pairing. Our final pairing is Barbera and Alfredo sauce. I give this 3.5 out of 5 stars as well. Barbera is a red wine from Italy and it's light and fruity. Again, it's low in alcohol. And I like low alcohol wines with kind of heavier food sometimes because you don't feel so bloated after eating, When you have higher alcohol wines, your senses are kind of numbed if you've been enjoying the wine too much. So you don't realize you're full and you just keep stuffing your mouth full of food. Barbera, you won't have that issue. It's, nice and light. And again, it cuts through that rich and creamy texture of Alfredo sauce, keeping your mouth refreshed. It also has rustic and earthy herbal notes that not everyone loves, but if you have a bit of herbs in your Alfredo sauce, or again, some bacon or some mushrooms, Barbera is a good pairing. So that wraps up another food and wine pairing. Until next time, cheers.